Welcome back to Collectability. We are living in an era which is a stainless steel frenzy. Everyone today is talking about Patek Philippe steel watches. We're seeing Nautilus watches, Aquanauts selling for 2, 3, 4, 5 times retail. But being collectability, I think we would like to look at the history first and see how it informs the present day. The first watch I'd like to show you is a limited edition from 1869. This particular piece was made as part of a small series for a gentleman in Budapest, Hungary in 1869. And it's shrouded in mystery, but we do know some of the facts from the extract from the archives. Let's take a look. So this particular piece has a 25 line movement, which is huge. The case is 70 millimeters and the caliber is an 8-day movement. So this means you wind it once and it's key wind and key set. I'll show you how since we're here. You go put the key in right here and you wind and you wind and you wind. And just like the 10-day reference 5101, it takes some time in order to wind the barrel. It is an amazing feat of technological history to have this watch still working today since the 1860s. And looking closely at the movement unlocks a couple secrets. First is you could see there's gold screws on the balance. This is some of the highest quality watchmaking from the period. And this caliber was made specifically for this gentleman in Budapest for this series. What case metal did he request? Not gold, not platinum. He wanted, in this case, nickel, which is an alloy that eventually is used to make stainless steel, but we'll get to that in a few moments. So this key wind and key set bit of history, massive piece of history, is the first watch I wanted to show you today. And I've only seen one other example of this particular watch, and that is at the Patek Philippe Museum in Geneva. They have an identical watch with this 8-day movement. So as a side note, if you'd like to learn more about Patek Philippe steel watches, look no further than this huge tome by John Goldberger of Patek Philippe steel watches. It's no coincidence that it's bound in cork in honor of the Nautilus, and it's hundreds of pages of information of every steel watch known. And I highly recommend that if you don't have that in your library already. So moving on to our second watch of the day. This is a classic reference 609 steel pocket watch. And it's amazing. For $8,000, you could still buy an important steel timepiece. And this one being from the pre-World War II era. Long signature, amazingly preserved. It was made for an Italian gentleman with the initials GR. And it's just a beautiful, light tool watch of the era. And that's an important point when discussing these early steel watches. They have different brands of steel, Stay Bright in this case. It's important to note that these were tool pieces and they cost significantly less than precious metal counterparts at the time. But when they do resurface to this day, they are among the most desirable and bring bigger prices at auction. The next piece I have is a 651 in steel, which is a personal favorite. Note the two-tone roulette dial and these Arabic numerals, which are done in hard enamel, are absolutely beautiful within this sector-like dial. And the 651 is very noticeable. You can see for the shape of the pendant, and it has this looks like a hexagonal shape as opposed to the rounded shape that we see on the pendants on the 609. And this particular piece was found with what I believe to be its original fob. And you could imagine just taking this little hook and putting it on a belt loop or on your vest in order to have easy access to the time whenever you should need it. So steel watches were all about functionality. These are all about timekeeping. These were understated when they were made. They're understated today, and oh so desirable for that beautiful aesthetic. So let's fast forward to 1945. Patek Philippe was struggling to have a sports watch. This is decades before the Nautilus. This is decades before Patek Philippe considered having a main sports watch in their line. So they were able to get this patent from Taubert, which I have a picture of here, which explains how this water-resistant case worked. So you can see it better in this picture. You have these two pieces of metal, which are right here on the side, and a slot for your fingernail. You could slide those out, one, and slide this out, two. And then on the reverse side, you see the third part, three. You slide out that third part, and the case divides into two pieces. This seals the watch brilliantly for water resistance. I should say brilliantly, but I wouldn't say so effectively, because it's not the best system that was used, and it was only made for three or 4 years before it was discontinued. But to find a reference 1585 today preserved in such amazing condition is a 1940s nod to the future. And this particular piece can still be worn today. It keeps beautiful time. And Collectability is very happy to present it to you. All right, now we're going to fast forward to the 1960s. The reference 3466 was introduced in 1962. This was the first steel automatic watch with a water-resistant case that came out during this time period. The movement is absolutely exceptional. It's a reference 27460, which we've discussed in earlier videos. This 35 millimeter piece is an icon of Patek Philippe design. It's so understated, yet the 35 millimeter size is perfect for the modern wrist. So this particular piece is fresh to market. I'm so excited to have it here with Collectability. And it fits within this theme of this functionality that was so key to steel watches. Last but not least, I just received back from Patek Philippe service this particular watch. Everyone's talking about Nautilus. I guess I am too, but a different reference. Here we have a reference 4700 in steel, a ladies' Nautilus. This reference began in 1981 and was discontinued in 2004. It's amazing. It existed for 24 years. It has the same case maker, Fav Perret, as used with the Jumbo men's reference 3700, and it has the same dial maker, Stern Frere. The difference is the size. It's much smaller. And I was pulling up some original ads from my collection for the reference 4700, and it was interesting to see in the 1980s how Patek Philippe angled these watches towards women. Reading the tagline here, it says, "Because a woman has crossed the Atlantic single-handed by sail, has conquered Himalayan peaks, has soared to outer space itself, the day has dawned when we must add one superb model to our collection. In tribute to the women of today, Nautilus by Patek Philippe." This other ad, it cuts to the chase even sooner. It says, "A Patek Philippe for tennis, diving, or whatever a lady feels like doing, the Nautilus." So that is our little collection of off-the-beaten-path steel watches. They're all tool watches in their own way. It's all about functionality, use, and accuracy. And I want to thank you all for joining us with our look back across the decades at steel watches. Please like or subscribe to YouTube or Instagram or both, and please enjoy the hunt.